Did you have a good time at the park, Maxwell? I certainly did. Oh, hello, my little poppets, and welcome to story time. Well, I've got some visitors here today. I've got Maxwell, who you've met many times before, but he hasn't been here for a while. And he's got, what's Stinky's new friend's name, Maxwell? What's his name again?
Mr. Bear.
Mr. Bear! Oh, well, I haven't met, this is the first time I've met Mr. Bear. And Stinky wanted Maxwell and Mr. Bear to have a play date at the park. Now, I have to say, my little poppet, it's been a rather chilly day, awfully cold, so we've had to get rugged up. Stinky has his lovely coat on here with his hood, and Maxwell's got his beanie on and coat, and this fellow here, Mr. Bear, has his lovely woolly jumper on, and it was absolutely freezing at the park. We might be in for snow, I think. It's been so cold, but we had fun. What did you like the best, Maxwell, at the park, dear?
The slide.
The slide! Well, the slide's always a winner. I must say I had a little bit of trouble going down the slide. I think I have to lay off some of the sponge cake I've been eating. I got a little bit stuck. What's that? I always get stuck on the slide. Oh, Stinky, yes, well, sometimes I do. But Maxwell gave me a shove and I managed to go down the slide. And we had lots and lots of fun. Well, speaking of cold weather, Stinky, what's that? You going to eat the cake now? No, I said you're not. Now listen, you've had some friends over. We've had a wonderful time at the park. I hope you're not in one of your moods. Oh, I don't like it when you pull that face. Maxwell, I said no, you're not going to start bickering. We're going to have to watch Stinky, dear. He's starting to be a little bit naughty. And you know what, my little poppets? When Stinky misbehaves, it's often because he's overtired. I think he needs a nice story, and I think he needs some time out, perhaps a nap. Now, before I'm waffling on, I'm starting to waffle on, I know that I do. I've got to mention the cake. We've got this wonderful cake here, and I do believe it's got a rather smart beanie on top with a lovely big snowflake. How pretty is that? Stinky, I said no. Not yet. I said no. Right, Maxwell? No, that's enough from you. I'm afraid you're going to have some time out. Dear, would you hold Stinky? Perhaps he can curl up on your lap. He's playing up again. He's rather naughty, I'm afraid. No, you're going to have to sit there. Oh, I'm getting all muddled again like I do. Yes, as I was saying, this marvellous cake here. Now, before we get to the story, and I know that I'm waffling on, but I've got to read this letter. Perhaps you might remember a few weeks ago during story time, I told you about my Aunt Madness. Aunt Madness and Uncle Insane were off to the Antarctic. They were going to roller skate across the ice up there, and goodness knows what else they were going to do. I don't know, but I've received a letter from her this morning, so I'm just going to quickly read that to you. Ah, it's exciting when you get a letter in the post. Dear Mrs. Wiffle Waffle, just letting you know that we're having a marvellous time. We've been doing the hopscotch with polar bears. Hopscotch? They're doing the hopscotch. That's just a game, isn't it, that you play on the ground? Doing the hopscotch, perhaps that's a different sort of dance. We're doing the hopscotch. We've been roller skating. We've been doing the tango. And this morning, I saw a polar bear juggle bananas. We're having a rather marvellous time. Can't wait to catch up and see you soon. Lots of love and kisses, Aunt Madness and Uncle Insane. And it says, kiss, kiss. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Well, a polar bear juggling bananas? I've never heard of such a thing. They do get up to some funny business, don't they? Aunt Madness and Uncle Insane. But you'll have to catch up with them soon, Maxwell. They haven't seen you, dear, in ages, you sweet little poppet that you are. Well, waffling on just a bit. Enough of that. Nonsense, wonderful nonsense that it is, and we'll crack on with the story, which is called Up and Down. Look at that, my little poppets, and quite appropriate, I have to say, because we've had some rather chilly days. Now, I'll try and hold this for you to see, Maxwell. It's a little bit squishy, but I'll do the best that I can. Little penguin missed his friend. She lived far away on an iceberg. And there's two little penguins there, my little poppets, as you can see. Lovely and wintry and cold in that picture. Marvellous. Ah. Little Penguin set off to meet her. He jumped high into the air. And there he is there, my little poppets, jumping up lovely and high. Now there's a bit of a trick to this book. I think if you lift the little flap here, it reveals something underneath, and it says, it's one of these tricky books, and dived low beneath the waves. And I'll have to turn it around again. I do like these tricky books, but they are a little bit hard to hold, I'm afraid. There he is there, diving down under the waves, perhaps to catch a big fish. He swam down through the seaweed, and there he is there, swimming amongst the seaweed. Look at that, lots and lots of seaweed. Have you been to the beach, Maxwell? You haven't? Do you like seaweed, dear? Have you seen seaweed before? I'm sure you have if you've been to the beach. I must have some seaweed tea again, it's quite lovely. And if you lift up the flap, it says, and up towards a dark tunnel. And I'll try my very best to, that flap. I do pick the most peculiar books, I have to say, but I'm quite peculiar myself. There it is there, you can see that there. I hope that you can. Rather tricky to hold. I do pick them. Little Penguin paused outside the tunnel. He paused. It's like pressing pause on the remote, isn't it? Pausing the penguin. Look at that. I never knew you could do such a thing. And we'll lift up that flap again. And what does it say underneath? And swam inside bravely. Yes, well, I think what that means is that he stopped and he thought about it for a moment before he decided to swim in the tunnel. And there he is there going in. I wonder what he's going to find in the tunnel, Maxwell. What do you think he's going to find in there, dear?
A cave monster.
A cave monster. He very well might find a cave monster. He reached the end of the small tunnel and, I'll show you this before I lift up that flap again. Very dark, those pages. I don't know how you're going to manage. Hopefully that you will. I wonder what's under the flap. And swam out into the big ocean. And he's come out again. Here we go, holding that tricky flap. There he is, swimming in and then swimming out again. Would you like to be a penguin, Maxwell? Do you think that would be good to be a penguin, dear? I think Ryan might like to be a penguin. I think it would be lovely to be a penguin, all that lovely cold ice. He swam in front of the Playful Dolphins. There he is there, swimming with dolphins. Wonderful creatures that they are. Look at them there, swimming away. Swimming with dolphins, how marvellous. I have to say, Maxwell, you look very snug on that chair. Is Stinky behaving? I hope he is. Well, it's lovely and warm in here, my little poppets. Maxwell has taken off his boots and socks, and he looks quite snug there. And behind the salmon sharks quietly swam. There he is there. Another weird page. I'm quite fed up with these pages, I have to say. Didn't think about that when I chose the book. He swam above the bobbing jellyfish. And there he is, my little poppets, swimming above the bobbing jellyfish. Lots of jellyfish there. You have to watch out. You don't want to get stung by a jellyfish, but you often have to look out for when you're at the beach. Quite often you see them. He swam over the orca whale's big black tail. And there, look at that, wonderful orca there, or killer whale. Wonderful. Big beast there swimming along. I wonder what's under that flap. And under its smooth white belly. Yes, well, I suppose you can do that if you're a penguin. There he is, swimming under the orca's soft, white, smooth belly.
That would be cool to see a killer whale.
You think that would be cool to see a killer whale? Yes, well, they are wonderful creatures, aren't they? I think I might be a little bit scared though, Maxwell, if I saw a killer whale. Little Penguin's friend waited and waited. Being lonely made her feel sad, but there he is there, standing up there on the ice, and we'll lift up the flap. Seeing Little Penguin made her feel happy. Yes, well, it's good that she's feeling happy. That's wonderful. I like it when everyone's happy. Simply marvellous. Oops, sorry there, Maxwell. Bopped you on the head with the book. Just one last journey to make. From the bottom of the slope. There he is there at the bottom of the slope, my little poppets. Perhaps he's going to climb up, I don't know. To the top of the iceberg. Yes, I had a suspicion that's what was going to happen. So there he is, and he's climbing up the iceberg, climbing all the way up to the very top. Ah! No longer apart, they were together at last. Oh, they've caught each other at last. Wonderful. Back together again, the two friends. Wonderful. Lots of lovely ice there. Well, the end and the last page, because it's quite lovely. Lots of different fish on that page. And that was called Up and Down. Bit of a different book, an unusual one with all the little flaps and things that you have to lift up, but a good one. Did you enjoy that story, Maxwell? Up and Down. Oh, I don't know about you, my little poppets, but I'm feeling rather bushed, rather tired. We've had such a busy afternoon. Now I'm going to have a chat with Stinky and Maxwell, of course. Now, has Stinky been behaving, dear? I hope he has. Stinky, have you been a good boy sitting on Maxwell's lap, have you? Yes, well, you've settled down a bit. What's that? Do your friends have to go home? Well, Maxwell is staying the night. You're having a sleepover, remember? I'm afraid Mr. Bear has to go home because he's got things that he has to do tomorrow, so he can't spend the night. What's that? Can you stay up all night with Maxwell? Well, I suppose you can stay up for a little while. It is a sleepover after all. You can watch some movies and have a good old time then, all right? Yes, but you've got to be good. Are you going to be good? Oh, yes. When you pull that face, I don't know. Well, Maxwell, did you enjoy the story, dear? Stinky, leave Maxwell's hat alone. No, you're not having the hat. We've been through this. You're not having the hat. You have your own hat, and you've got quite a few. Now, you leave his hat alone. I said stop it. Stop. Stop. Well, anyway, my little poppets, I hope you enjoyed that story. It was wonderful to have Maxwell over, and we had lots of fun at the park. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Take care and say goodbye, Maxwell. Bye.